The improved version of Volkswagen's second generation Golf GTE continues to offer a more dynamic, if rather pricey take on plug-in hybrid technology, combining sporty styling and pokey petrol power along with real-world battery range and frugality. The idea is to deliver GTI responsiveness along with ID.3-style EV sustainability. If Volkswagen has done just that, then this could very well be the ultimate all-round family hatch.
Volkswagen's pioneering plug-in model, the Golf GTE, gets smarter and more frugal with this updated version of the second generation design. Here, we're going to take a closer look. Back in late 2014, the first generation Golf GTE was one of the market's very first plug-in hybrids. But back then, expectations weren't particularly high when it came to the kind of EV range a car like this should be able to manage. By the end of the decade, though, things had changed a great deal, hence the need for the second generation CD1 era replacement with a considerably larger 13 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, and that usefully extended the WLTP-rated all-electric driving range to 40 miles. Volkswagen knew that if this plug-in hybrid Golf was really going to be a properly credible alternative to a full EV, better technology still was needed. So in mid-2024, the brand provided it, further updating this powertrain by installing an even larger 19.7 kilowatt-hour battery that more than doubled the EV range. It's that smarter, further ranging version of the second generation Golf GTE that we look at here. These days, this isn't the only kind of plug-in hybrid Golf you can have, but it remains the most powerful and the most dynamic looking flavour of PHEV Golf you can choose. You can find out more about this kind of car by downloading the Car and Driving app. And if your interest is specifically in this Golf GTE, then stay with us for the industry's most comprehensive review, the Car and Driving Road Test. Midterm model updates aren't usually accompanied by much in terms of re-engineering, but that's very differently not the case here. In place of the 1.4 litre engine and 13 kilowatt-hour battery of the GTE we tried back in 2021, there's now a 1.5 litre unit and a much larger 19.7 kilowatt-hour usable capacity battery in this model. It's a battery, of course, the big change there that's significant. It allows for an enormous boost in EV driving range, up from 40 miles before to 82 miles in this improved GTE. Less obvious in day-to-day driving is the claimed performance gain, supported by a 110 PS electric motor and generated through a 6-speed DSG auto gearbox. The total output of this facelifted model is up from 245 PS to 272 PS, although that makes only an insignificant 0.1 of a second difference to the 0 to 62 miles an hour sprint time of 6.6 seconds, which, if you're interested, is just 0.7 of a second slower than a Golf GTI. Top speed here is 143 miles an hour. For that kind of driving, the car will already have switched into the more combustion orientated of its two drive settings. That's hybrid. It always starts off though in the other setting, and that's all electric E mode. And if you're light with your right foot, it'll do its best to stay there until the charge runs out. In theory, the car can drive in E mode at up to 80 miles an hour. If you have inputted a navigation destination, then your GTE will also use an incorporated predictive hybrid control system that takes into account road and topographical data to ensure the most efficient use of the remaining charge. Also automatic is the car's brake energy recuperation setting, which a central screen menu will also allow you to manually set in low or high settings if you want to take control of that yourself. If you want to save your battery charge until the end of the journey, say for some city driving at the end of a long highway trip, then there is a central screen option to do that too. If all of this could have been provided with a really authentic Golf GTI-like driving experience, then you would have the best of both worlds. But of course, it can't. Under strain, the little 1.5 litre engine is nothing like the GTI's sweet 2 litre turbo, and it enjoys being revved a lot less. At speed through the twisty stuff, this plug-in hybrid's extra 111 kilograms of curb weight is also very evident, although the dynamic spec steering is pleasingly accurate. That bulk doesn't affect ride comfort too badly though. In fact, if you do pay extra for the DCC adaptive damping system that's been fitted here to this test car, you'll find that bumps and potholes are dealt with really very smoothly. Before finishing this section though, we should point out that the GTE is no longer the only plug-in hybrid Golf on offer. The same basic powertrain features in detuned 204 PS form in a lesser variant, that's the Golf E hybrid, though the performance figures of that variant, 0 to 62 in 7.2 seconds en route to 137 miles an hour, really aren't very different. As before, a big part of the GTE's appeal is that it doesn't look that different from a GTI. Although as ever with the GTE, blue rather than red detailing sets this PHEV model apart from its hot hatch stablemate. Like the GTI, there's no estate variant. Having said that, here at the side, we're not sure that this GTE model's 17-inch Richmond alloy wheels look particularly GTI-like. You can, however, swap them out for larger, more hot hatch-like 18-inch rims, and we probably would. With that done, there'd be very little to differentiate this plug-in hybrid model from a GTI, except the badge below the wing there and the charging flap just ahead of it, particularly if you add in the optional black exterior styling pack, which has been fitted here. As with every other Golf, significant changes to the updated version of this Mark II model, you have to look to the front, where the light bar that sweeps across the bonnet edge now incorporates an illuminated VW badge, and it links angrier looking LED headlamps. The bumper here has been restyled too, with lower body coloured fins now angling up into the lower grille. The rear gets a restyled bumper too, along with revisions to the smoked LED tail lamps. As before, there's a subtle roof spoiler, and the blue tinged GTE badge sits underneath the central brand roundel. Right, let's take a look inside. Well, as usual with a GTE, there's a blue theme for the upholstery and the steering wheel trim. Look closely at the instrument screen, and little bottom frame digits show combined battery and petrol range on the right, and your chosen brake energy recuperation level on the left. And on the central monitor, there are added charging and also recuperation sections. Otherwise, things are pretty much as they were with any other updated CD1 era Golf, which means that if you're graduating on from the pre-facelifted version of this model, you'll notice a small but significant improvement in quality with more soft touch materials and better finishing. The redesigned steering wheel now has proper buttons instead of fiddly haptic touchpads. And as before, a dynamic vibe is offered up by the sport seats and by the silver pedals. Detailed cabin updates include a better but optional head-up display and more powerful USB-C ports. Also improved is the 10.2-inch Digital Cockpit Pro instrument display we referenced earlier. It offers 3 layout formats. Choose either twin dials or twin square boxes, both featuring a central digital speedo and drive assist graphic. Or there's a GTE specific layout which sees a central dial showing revs on the right and a power meter on the left. Now, we mentioned this new central screen. It's now almost too big, having grown to 12.9 inches from 10 inches before. Any larger and it'd encroach on forward visibility. This vastly improved MIB4 setup is not only easier and more intuitive to use, but also now incorporates ChatGPT tech, which can be used to control navigation, phone and climate functions. The advantage here is that if Volkswagen's own voice control setup doesn't know the answer to a question that you might be asking the car, then it will be relayed to an incorporated ChatGPT AI system, although the same VW voice will still give you the answer. This monitor also offers faster loading times, wireless app connect for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and of course there's Wi-Fi and over-the-air updates. As usual with current VW monitors, the home screen displays either with customizable widgets, or if you press the top right button, rows of little icons. Otherwise, things are much as they are with any other Golf, so you get near faultless ergonomics, great build quality, plenty of cabin storage space, and lots of nice touches like the flock-lined door bins and the ratcheting centre box lid that serves as an armrest and adjusts for 5 stages of height. The combination of these tiny front quarter lights and slim A-pillars mean good frontward vision too. Over the shoulder vision isn't quite so good. The large C-pillars there rather get in the way, so it's just as well that a rear view camera and a park distance control system are both standard fit. Right, let's take a look in the rear. Where, as usual in a Mark 8 Golf, a pair of 6-foot adults could be accommodated reasonably easily, providing front seat occupants don't slide their seats fully back. It is disappointing that the height of this central transmission tunnel makes it so difficult for middle seat passengers to be comfortably accommodated though. 2 people should be quite happy. They'll benefit from this fold-down central armrest with its twin cup holders and twin-beamed overhead reading lights. Seat back pockets are provided, plus on each seat back you also get these neat couple of upper pouches. The door cards are unimaginatively designed, but they do incorporate decently sized flock-lined illuminated bins. There are twin USB-C ports, and with a 3-zone climate system fitted as standard, you get this rear seat temperature control panel too. Let's finish with a look at boot space, which is accessed by a press of the central badge and the raising of this manually operated tailgate. Not all PHEVs are engineered in such a way as to rob you of significant amounts of boot space, but thanks to the positioning of its PHEV system batteries under the cargo area of the floor here, the Golf GTE has always been one of the plug-in hybrids that does. Obviously nothing's changed in this regard as part of the facelift, so the 380 litre luggage capacity total you'd ordinarily get in the Golf falls to just 273 litres here, just like the car we tested back in 2021. Another downside of having all that engineering bulk beneath the boot floor is that there's no space to store anything there. There's nothing under there but some rather useless shallow compartments. And that is really annoying because it means that your charging leads have to slide around on the boot floor and get in the way of anything that you want to carry. There's not even enough room for the tyre inflation kit. That means that has to sit in this tight right-hand corner recess, getting in the way of any awkwardly shaped items you might want to stow in widthwise, like a pushchair, for example. Otherwise, this cargo area is just like that of any other Golf hatch. So there are 2 bag hooks, there are 4 tie-down points and a ski hatch. Pushing forward, the conventional 60-40 split rear bench frees up 1,130 litres. That's down from 1,237 litres in a normal Golf. Everything is going up in price these days, isn't it? And the price of this CD1 era Golf GTE has gone up rather a lot since the last time we tested it back in spring 2021, from around £36,000 to just over £40,000 at the time of this test in late summer 2025, which is only a few £100s short of the model that visually it's supposedly modelled on, the Golf GTI. A more relevant price comparison here is with the car that shares nearly all the same engineering as this 272 PS Golf GTE, but has a detuned 204 PS version of this car's plug-in hybrid drivetrain, namely the Golf E Hybrid. Consider that option carefully before committing to GTE purchase. After all, the E Hybrid version comes much more affordably priced, from just over £35,000 in match form, or for around £1,000 more with plusher style trim. If it's a GTE you really want, then console yourself with the thought that your comparable segment choices will probably cost you more. The most direct rival to a Golf in this form is the identically engineered Cupra Leon E Hybrid in 272 PS guise, which, as we filmed, cost nearly £2,000 more in its base VZ1 level trim. The plug-in hybrid version of the Audi A3 Sportback is only offered with the detuned 204 PS version of this PHEV powertrain, yet it still costs £1,500 more than this GTE with that A3 and comparable S-Line trim. Outside of the VW group, the closest match to what's on offer here is probably offered by Vauxhall, whose Astra GSE doesn't look very tempting. It costs around £3,500 more than this Golf GTE and offers just 225 PS. You might also consider a Peugeot 308 plug-in hybrid in sporty GT trim or a Mercedes A250e, but both of those cost over £1,000 more than a GTE and offer quite a lot less power and EV range. Any other similarly sized PHEV alternatives that you could name are either not as powerful as a GTE or are SUVs, or they're both. So you might conclude there's nothing quite like a Golf GTE, in which case you're going to need to know just how generous VW has been here with the standard spec. So let's take a closer look at that right now. Standard equipment includes matrix full LED headlights, which are separated by a front grille light bar and which feature high beam assist and dynamic cornering lights. Plus there's also keyless access, 17-inch Richmond alloy wheels, front fog lights, adaptive cruise control, keyless access, an alarm, power folding mirrors, LED tail lamps and a Park Assist Pro park distance control system to stop you from reversing into things at low speeds. The brand also includes sport suspension, sharper dynamic steering, its XDS electronic differential lock and the driving profile selection driving mode system, along with its travel assist feature, which allows the car to accelerate, to steer and to brake on motorways at speeds of up to 130 miles an hour. Plus, a traffic jam assist system can almost drive the car for you in low-speed urban queues. Inside, there's a 12.9-inch centre dash infotainment screen with navigation, wireless app connect, a 6-speaker audio system and an operating interface which responds to the command, "Hey Volkswagen," followed by whatever you want to ask, and that's aided by ChatGPT. This is the segment's most interactive voice control system. Also standard is 30-colour ambient lighting, plus you get a rear view camera, front sport seats, Jaccara upholstery inserts, a 10.2-inch digital cockpit pro instrument display, heated front seats and 3-zone climatronic air conditioning. As with the Golf GTI, probably the key option available on this car fitted here is dynamic chassis control adaptive damping. It's a hefty £735 more. Other features fitted here that you might want to consider too include a head-up display, there's an area view camera system, a panoramic sunroof and Vienna leather upholstery. This test car also has Volkswagen's optional black exterior styling pack, which darkens the headlights, adds rear privacy glass and blackens the mirror covers and the radiator grille strips. Remember too that unless you order your Golf in solid white or grey, you will be paying extra for your chosen paint shade. We've got a crystal ice blue metallic here. You can also add a tow bar and heated rear seats, and we'd be tempted to find the £600 extra that Volkswagen wants for the smarter available wheel option, 18-inch Catania black diamond turned rims. Standard safety kit includes the brand's emergency braking front assist system with pedestrian and cyclist monitoring, plus lane assist, dynamic road sign display, a speed limiter, rear traffic alert, a lane change system, an exit warning system for passengers. There's swerve support and an oncoming vehicle when turning feature too, which helps you avoid approaching traffic at junctions. Emergency assist will bring the car to a controlled halt if you're taken ill at the wheel, and a multifunction front-facing camera provides a distance control system. There is also a proactive passenger protection system and curtain and side airbags in front with a centre airbag too, all linked to the usual e-call system, plus a driver attention and drowsiness monitor. The published figures for the GTE look undeniably appealing. Volkswagen claims a combined fuel economy figure of 796.3 miles per gallon. Yes, you heard that right, and emissions of up to 8 grams per kilometre. Compare that to 235.4 mpg and 26 grams per kilometre for the pre-facelift model. For reference, the alternative Golf E Hybrid 204 PS version manages 992.4 mpg and 6 grams per kilometre of CO2. Readings like these really point to the deficiencies of the WLTP economy tests for measuring cars like this rather than the real-world abilities of the GTE. In pure electric mode, activated at the press of a button, the GTE can travel up to 82 miles, 42 miles further than before. It's 89 miles for the E-hybrid variant though. In other words, if the vehicle is only used for short commutes and recharged regularly overnight, it's conceivable that this GTE could be regularly run almost entirely without fuel, and conceivably, if you get your charging regime right too, on off-peak electricity, which will hopefully cost pennies rather than pounds to consume. Yes, the charging system, that's changed quite a lot here. As before, you can set charging via a provided app or via the central screen menu. A key difference though with this latest GTE powertrain is the addition of DC fast charging, which means the battery can be recharged at speeds of up to 40 kilowatts. The home AC charging speed has changed too, up from just 3.6 kilowatts before to potentially as much as 11 kilowatts now. Charge at 11 kilowatts and you could potentially completely replenish the 90.7 kilowatt hour battery in just 2.5 hours, which of course is a different world from the overnight charging period that you need for the much bigger battery of a comparably sized full EV. Not so good is that total operating range is rather restricted by the fact that the usual 50-litre fuel tank in a Golf here falls to 40 litres. And tax, well, business users will really like the way that the lengthier EV range of this facelifted model drops this Golf down into the 5% benefit in kind tax bracket. That's just a fraction above the 3% that you get with a full EV. Service intervals are every year or 10,000 miles, whichever comes around first. You can expect residual values after 3 years and 36,000 miles to be in the 43 to 50% bracket. Insurance is Group 30E, and there's usual 3-year 60,000 mile warranty and a year of roadside assistance. We have to judge this updated take on the CD1 era second generation Golf GTE quite differently from the pre-facelift version of the model that we tried back in 2021. And there are pluses and minuses to that. On the plus side is the game-changing nature of this enhanced model's much larger 19.7 kilowatt hour battery, which is able to make this GTE something its predecessors never really were, namely a credible alternative to a full EV. About 70 to 80 miles of range a day is all most people actually need, and this Golf provides that fossil-free, without the lengthy charging and the long-range restrictions of an EV. True, you could make much the same argument for just about any similarly sized PHEV model, hatch or SUV, but this Golf delivers on it with an EV range figure that's difficult to better in the segment. Most competitors are way off. The Vauxhall and Peugeot Stellantis group alternatives, for example, can't even break the 50-mile EV barrier before combustion power cuts in. For all that, we would struggle to justify a Golf GTE at a time when Volkswagen will sell you an almost equally impressive Golf E Hybrid PHEV model for around £5,000 less, a car which would take you even further on EV charge and in which you'd struggle to notice much difference in power. That E-hybrid wasn't available the last time we tested this model, but it is now, and we'd counsel you to first try that car before signing off on this one. With an E-hybrid test drive completed, you might still be seduced by this GTE's sportier looks, and you might still feel that one of these would be a cleverer choice than you could make by spending the same kind of money on a comparably sized EV. Right here, right now, we struggle to disagree.